Your court? Good to go?
And we can even stop where you got it now. They're the regular.
So I'd like to call this regular meeting of council on March 16th, 2021 to order at 7 p.m. We'll stay seated for a moment of silent reflection. Thank you very much. We'll move to the mayor's address. I'd like to extend a warm welcome on behalf of myself and council to Jeffrey Warren, who's been hired as our CEMC. On March 11th, 2021, I attended a meeting with Dr. Cushman and the Winter County Health Unit. Dr. Cushman indicated that if our number of positive COVID cases continues, we may be moved from yellow to orange. Currently, there are 20 active cases, 1 person in hospital, and 80 contact tracings. Challenge is social interaction at lunch and breaks in the workplace, as well as visitors coming into Renfrew County. The Health Unit has posted a link on their website for booking vaccine appointments. Appointments are being scheduled for Indigenous residents 55 and over and residents 80 and over. Paramedics will be starting vaccination of residents in retirement homes and other common settings on Friday, 12th. As information and direction from the province can change daily and sometimes hourly, Dr. Cushman is encouraging residents to check the Health Unit website for the most current information. This information is updated as soon as new information becomes available. Appointments for vaccinations can be booked with the Health Unit online or by phone. The Health Unit will be hosting bi-weekly information meetings with municipal mayors and CAOs every second Thursday at 1:30 p.m. On March 10th, 2021, I attended a special meeting with County Council to review the final report from Strategy Corporation on the county's planning services. The report contained a number of recommendations that will redefine the future of the planning department. The Director of Development and Property is reviewing the recommendations and will be bringing business cases back to committee and council on a case-by-case basis. On March 3rd, 2021, I attended a fact meeting in preparation for the spring freshet. With the warm weather and rapid melt we have experienced, spring runoff has started, and weekly freshet calls are being planned for the end of March. These calls will be attended by our new CEMC, Jeffrey Warren. That is my mayor's report. Councilor,
Hey, Jeff, well, you going to be related to the ones in the day?
I have no idea.
You have another one?
I have met him, but I didn't get a chance to ask him.
You guys keep one in the day.
Yeah, I don't know. Yes, Councilor.
There was one notice that was on the COVID vaccine. If you have the red cards, you have to book by phone.
That's right, yes.
Yeah, you cannot book.
That's right.
Just something that a resident should know.
So can I get a mover and a seconder that the March 16th, 2021 mayor's address be accepted as presented? Moved by Councilor Byrne, seconded by Councilor Robinson. Councilor Burns?
Yes.
Councilor Buckles?
Yes.
Councilor Robinson?
Yes.
Councilor Reddy-Jonesville?
Yes.
And yes, that's carried. Thank you. I have a resolution that the March 2nd, 2021 regular meeting minutes be accepted as presented. Can I get a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councilor Robinson, seconded by Councilor Buckles. Are there any additions, corrections, or omissions? Seeing none, I'll call the vote. Council Burns.
Yes.
Council Buckfall.
Yes.
Council Robinson.
Yes.
Council Ricky Tongfeld.
Yes.
And a yes, that's carried. Yep. Are there any, I'm sorry, I missed this. Are there any declarations of pecuniary interest or the general nature thereof? Thank you. I see none. We have no delegations at our board meeting tonight. So item number 7.1 is the admin report. I have a resolution that council accepts the CAO update report. Can I get a mover and a seconder? Moved by Council Ricky Schoenfeld, seconded by Council Burns. Can we bring up the report, please?
So practically, it's not just being yellow compared to people. For the staff that we really just after doing it. These policies. This the law. The law. I see you try to do copies. Okay. To assist the classroom student and free. The program will ensure that all faculty will have the ability to vote in appointment. And presidents should have this, including the high school and is to revise. With the word items. It will set our continuous no legal operations. And we have been at one mile per day. Surface roads. Water is flowing. And at this time there have been no major issues. But there have been a couple of areas where water has been eroded. And public works, we have to the severity of these reduced road restrictions started on county and township roads. And we welcome our new that we want to we have some of the township streets with our public works and he's very eager to get involved. He will and we will fighting for this great. And but at this time, it is that this will be light and water levels do not become. However, that being said, things can be.
Thank you, Michelle. Are there any questions or comments, Councilor Burns?
People get that phone number for so they can register online. Yeah, they don't have computers like, yeah, but if they don't have computers, could they phone the township office? And have it? Just in case somebody calls there, because there's people in that company. Older people with computers.
On the radio, they also announced their more than welcome to call the office.
And as well, they can call the health unit directly because the health unit is aware that not everybody has. Councilor Buckle, you had a question?
Actually, just one suggestion on the information sheet. Just to lay in. Is there any way we could leave space on the back side of the sheet where the race coupon is? Because people have told me if they, once they rip off their coupon and turn it in, they leave the information on all the time.
Okay,
But just a suggestion.
so do that.
Councilor Robbins.
I was just curious, how is the township staff sleeping? Are you doing a rotation?
Okay, there's a number of and a schedule has been provided.
That's a record phone call.
Just under the disposal coupon, that's for any time, is it? We're just in May, because when I saw it, it just said May, but I thought we were gonna allow it for any time.
It is for.
Basically the same as last year, what I understood.
Council Burke,
Just with council Buckwell, so the next axle will be another fire going up with another good large pickup. That
No,
would be on the next axle.
our understanding is once a year.
yes,
No, we don't want to do another one.
no, seeing no other questions, then I'll call for the vote. Council Burke,
Yes.
Council Buckwell,
Yes.
Council Robinson,
Yes.
Council Ricky Trumbull,
Yes,
and a yes, that's carried, thank you. Item 7.2 is the statement of council and board remuneration. I have a resolution that council received the staff report 2020 statement of council and board remuneration and expenses for information purposes. Can I get a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councilor Buckwald, seconded by Councilor Burns. Questions or comments? Seeing none, Councilor Burns? Yes. Councilor Buckwald?
Yes.
Councilor Robinson?
Yes.
Councilor Raikkonen?
yes,
And a yes, that's carried, thank you. Item 7.3 is the Boncher Union Public Library. I have a resolution that council accepts the library report and CEO report as presented. Can I get a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councilor Buckwald, seconded by Councilor Burke. Comments or questions? Seeing none, Councilor Burns?
Yes.
Councilor Buckwald?
Yes.
Councilor Robinson?
Yes.
Councilor Raikkonen?
yes,
And yes, that's carried, thank you. Item 7.4 is regarding meeting audio. I have a resolution that council accepts the report and authorizes the purchase of an audio system at a cost not to exceed $28,000. And further that a toll-free telephone number call-in service be established for all residents wishing to call into meetings. And I got a mover and a seconder. Moved by Councilor Robinson, seconded by Councilor Buckwald. Comments? Questions? Councilor Burns?
Where are we using the budget, or where was it out of the budget?
It would have to either come out of, well, it would have to come out of reserves, I would think. Councilor Buckwald.
We staff also have an alternative.
Yes, and I'll ask staff to bring up their report, please.
So what we did is we looked at what other municipalities in the county, we looked at what the county rented does, and we got how they're using system that's been here for $28,000. So that's one component. That is what it costs to do the same as the other. Basically, but that's it. If you want another child, that's what for you. The other part, the other component of this, it costs to do toll-free numbers. So there's a cost per person using the system. And you see basically the people $20 a year. One person, one caller. Now, the math adds up pretty quickly. So we're also looking at increasing the ability of internet in here and possibly and Councilor Buckwald usually the staff has a number alternative. We approached Algona Wilberforce, and I don't know if council. Algona Wilberforce is the largest music and professional audio company in Canada. And they have 80 stores, including one in Ottawa. And they're the ones that set up sound systems for bands, PA systems, and everything. They give us some information as to the different way to do this. It's really nice. And the one good thing about Algona Wilberforce is the salespeople are on commission, so maybe we're getting a fairly honest answer. But the that he put in there $2,000, we expected it to be less than half. The reason we put $2,000 in there is that if for some reason our computer was our fault, if that, then with that, and $20,000. Again, to get what the other guys have is $28,000. And if we want to try our in-house solution, and what that in-house solution does is give us a digital mixer that goes right into the computer, so it's a digital signal goes to signal coming out of that mixer right now, and it would not need the 100 amp, 100 watt amp.
Councilor Richardson.
Could some of the money's not come out of like the COVID monies that we've been getting from the various governments? Because I'm thinking this is a COVID related expense because we want to enhance our sound system so that the residents can listen to us call.
We could attempt to get the 28,000 through that. It's certainly something we can try.
No, I'm just saying any monies that we decide to spend on this instead of taking it out of reserves. Like, I mean, because to me, this is truly a COVID related expense. If it wasn't for COVID, we wouldn't have to worry about the sound system. We'd go with what we previously had.
Councilor Buckle.
From my perspective, most of the technology that's involved, I think the digital advantages made Ottawa probably resolve a lot of our problems. I'd still like to see us proceed with looking at the internet improvements here, as well as the ability of getting a better cell phone signal. So maybe that would be a package that all of it could go through.
Councilor Bird. You had a.
I just want to say, is there any guarantee with the in-house solution that it's going to be better? Doesn't matter.
Maybe I'll let staff speak to that.
I'm comfortable that the answer is yes, but in the report, even with the $28,000 system, both systems are dependent that you talk into your microphone at all times, and that the person on the other end has the equipment to accept the signal. So if you're talking or listening on the phone on the black phone that's on the kitchen wall, it may not be the best sound that you can get, and you can't unless we put a new phone in your house. The signal will be a digital signal going to the computer and then directly into phone lines. We're thinking that we've done the best, it's the best you can do. So just to make it simple, right now, for example, we're sending a signal through your microphone, through a wire, to the amplifier, to that speaker on the wall that's going to the amp. When we have this system, it's going from your speaker to a mixer that's sending a digital signal through a secure line to the computer and then securely out into the away from the building. So you're cutting out a couple of middlemen.
Councilor Buckle.
So is the owl still going to track using that system? We're going to see what we can do with the owl. At the very least, we will have a camera and a picture panel. Yes, from my perspective, like the owl following the speaking is nice. If we get eliminating that is can resolve part of the problem with the in-depth solution. I think it's more important that people can hear us than see what we look like.
Councilor Robinson.
I would suggest that we try the in-house solution first. Certainly is the most cost effective of the two. And if we have to go to the other one, then we can revisit it. It would be my.
Councilor Buckle.
And for the toll-free option, for people to call in, did we do any shopping around for that, or was that, single source just for information? Yeah, that price idea.
It was basically a single source to give us an idea of what the price would be. So yes, you may be able to shop around, but you're probably not going to change it an awful lot.
Okay.
The thing that council should look at is the $200 per person a year based on a 3-hour meeting, 26 meetings a year. If for some reason 3,000 people decide to do it the same way, you know, or $500,000, $600,000. If you have 3 people, which is typical, you're $600.
So I just wanted to weigh in on that one because this month's county council meeting, they are taking a look at the different remote access software programs to run a meeting. So they're looking at both the Zoom, the Microsoft Teams, Pragmatic and Streamlabs, which is the go-to meetings, and then the WebEx with Facebook. WebEx with Facebook gives you the toll-free access number for anybody who's going to call in. So that's the one advantage they have. Although when they compared the features, that was probably the only feature that put them ahead of some of the others. But the two most popular ones, of course, are Zoom and Microsoft Teams. Again, I have an issue with providing a toll-free call-in line for every participant because I can certainly see how quickly the costs could add up. And I do agree, I'd like to try the in-house solution before getting $28,000. Any other, Council Bucknell, if you did have your hand up?
It was just in relation to the with the mixer that you're looking at, would we also be able to fire after through a speakerphone stuff? Because that might give us another option for a local phone number. Office conference. Might be a little bit cheaper than hopefully.
That's not something we explored, but the council will, there are some things that you could do to make that work. Possibly. If council wants to leave that one for a while, there's some other options. Would be to have the meeting Zoom to, well, like if you're gonna spend, if you're thought you were gonna spend $1,000 on people coming in, you have the meeting Zoom to go like if you put 6 chairs out, 6 people go like and watch on a big screen. If that's what you want to do. It'll be cheaper, you know.
And your only expense there will be having staff to maintain safe distancing. And will be an option to go to units for Zoom as long as we can get the sound. And ideally the video would be nice, but we can get the sound addressed. I think that would result for a lot of people that are doing it online. And can do telephone instead. They're trying to, I think a lot of people using the phone are trying to get better sound.
Councilor Eckerson, call you.
Well, I'm just thinking too, like hopefully in another 2 years, we won't have the same restrictions that we do right now. So maybe having a toll-free number will kind of be a moot point because, you know, maybe we'll go back to having people in our chambers again. So maybe it's just a short-term thing. And once again, like, I really think this is a COVID-related expense because, I mean, people can't attend, therefore we have to do something. And so the one thing we're going to do is set up a toll-free number because we have some people that it's long distance. So, and I'm hoping we could, those expensive, if we decide to do a toll-free number or whatever we do, that could be one of the other things we could put through as a COVID expense. But I can't see this as being something that's going to go on forever and ever.
Seeing no other comments, then I'm wondering if council would like to refer this back to staff to, or some more options.
Yeah, just for the motion altogether. And just for council's information, within our budget, we started a solution.
So is council okay to defer? Council Burns?
Yes.
Council Buckle? Yes. Council Robinson?
Yes.
Council Reggie Jonko?
Yes,
And I mean, so that motion is deferred. Item 7.5 is the beaver tails. We have a resolution that council approves the request from the mobile beaver tails food truck to use the Golden Lake Community Center parking lot for 2 weekends in 2021. With the condition that a transient trader license is obtained, a donation is made to the Sharing Place Food Bank, and the dates are approved by staff. And I get a mover and a seconder. Moved by Councilor Robinson, seconded by Councilor Burns. Comments, questions?
So they don't have any, you know, what weekends are doing out there.
I'm not sure if they have dates.
well, they did say possible dates, so.
For 2 days. Mhm. So the possible dates are April 21st. And April 29th, and
Now, they say in the report that they could have some possible dates in the summer. Would this be in addition to the ones they're asking for, or would it be an alternative to what they're asking for?
we gave it all. Yeah. One of them to,
Does council have a preference? Councilor Akishon.
I kind of like those dates there because I just think of the boathouse that's there all the time paying taxes to our community. And it might be a summer draw away from that. But like in the springtime and let's say in the fall, maybe it wouldn't be as much. I'm just thinking we have to look after the people that are paying taxes in our community, right? And they'd be right across.
Any other comments?
But just, I was actually sort of talking to the first one, on the way through report. I think the council can get it clarified. So the possible dates are April 23rd, 24th, 25th, over 8, 9, 10. And then the next statement is the donation would be based on weekend sales and it usually averages around 300 to 400. It's not saying one weekend. So if they have the extra possible dates, their donations still be $300 or $400. Just to clarify, I was just saying we pretty should get that language in there.
That license, or is that $500? Is that? And that's the same for chip license? They would have to purchase that just once into the year?
Councilor Robinson.
No, I was just wondering, the place choice is only Golden Lake. I was thinking if we were to do something like that at Mr. Bishop in the summertime.
I guess the reason they're staying Golden Lake is because of the traffic that corner sees with Highway 60 and.
Yeah, I recognize that.
I don't know. It could be if weather dependent at Melissa Bishop Park. If it's a sunny weekend, they probably get a good crowd. If it's raining and cold. Yes, Michelle.
there are little locations. But, other venues.
So I guess for council, The first step would be just to approve what's in front of us tonight, and we could direct staff to maybe bring back some more information if there's further dates requested. Councilor Reddy,
And I'm just thinking of alternative locations. Like, I just think, you know, I love beaver tails and stuff, but to me, like the optics, you know, we've got the boathouse right there, and then we have beaver tails right across from that. And I get why they chose that. I understand why they chose that. I mean, we have somebody that's been paying the taxes and generating business all year long. I know it's just a couple weekends, but I imagine at the courthouse, the busiest time for them is probably the weekends also. I mean, maybe something down the road a little bit, or up the road a little bit. I don't know. You know?
I just, right, the recreation center could be a place. Big parking lot there.
Yeah, I was thinking of that too, but I think they really like the corner just simply because, like, you know how busy it is, right? And so, I mean, the other thing too is maybe staying away from the summer, if they really want to go there, I feel better about that. rather than-
So with the resolution that we have, if we approve, it would only be for those 2 weekends. And staff followed up if they wanted to do additional dates, then the direction would be that they pick a different location. Councilor Buckle, if you had a comment?
Yeah, I'm just thinking, the only reason they're asking is if they want to go to rank. Do get license. Same thing if they put it at greens, gift wrap. So either way, they can still have many weekends if they want. The township wants to have a license. They're just asking it for the weekend on our property. They don't see that as being a big hit to.
Okay, so I'll call the vote for this resolution then. Councilor Burns,
Yes.
Councilor Buckle,
Yes.
Councilor Robinson,
Yes.
Councilor Reddish,
Yes,
and I'm a yes, that's carried. Thank you. So item 7.6 is our decision dashboard. I have a resolution that council accepts the decision dashboard report with the addition of 5 questions and further that all of council sign the pledge. Can I get a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councilor Robinson, seconded by Councilor Buckle. So I'll ask staff to speak to the report.
So in front of council, you should all have what we're calling the decision dashboard. So if you recall your training in February with Shayla, one of the, I think the very last thing was to come up with recommendations that council should ask for their decision. So what we did as staff, and I'm very pleased, I did a mock-up with my crayons and made it look pretty. And it's a really good job. She took the colors and things out of the strategic plan. So basically, in the document you have in front of you, we have our mission. We all know and our vision. We talk about what we have in reality. The little circles are taken right out of the strategic plan, and then our values of the strategic plan. And then the right-hand corner is where you put your 5 questions. And if you flip the document over, we took out of the provincial guide, or actually it's a guide to service delivery for municipal council. We took this is basically how decisions work and how to make successful decisions. And then we also took questions that at the bottom that we took out of the strategic plan and to simplify them. So basically, you have to have a plan, you have to have a method, you have to have a budget, who you're going to include, who's going to drive it, who's going to be the leader. You have resources, so you have staff, or you have equipment, what's your timeline, and how are you going to communicate your plan? And then just, you know, for council, make a commitment to always use your decision tool and your 5 questions. We just put a pledge on the back that, you know, council would say they would always do this to, you know, act in the best interest. And then we put the council come up with your 5 questions because it really doesn't mean anything to staff come up with questions. We've taken the material out of the strategic plan You've taken the guideline from the province, and now it needs council to make it yours. And you make it yours by 5 questions that you believe are important. That's helpful. For asking yourself before you make a decision on behalf of the public.
So did council do their homework and come up with 5 questions? Councilor Buckwell?
Question number 1, is it in the best interest of the municipality?
Councilor Reddy-Schonfeld?
My first question was, which value does this address? Because that's to me where the starting point would be. Because if it doesn't connect with any of our values, then why are we even looking at it? And my second question was, what financial impacts will this decision have? So for me, it was like, you know, is it something that's going to be fundraising? Is it something that's going to come out of reserves? Is it something that we're going to be planning for a number of years? You know, how are we going? Because to me, any decision we make is going to have some cost associated with it.
And my first question, well, I actually did 5 and I sent them to staff because I thought if we all send our questions this time, then they could put them all together on the sheet and maybe at our next meeting, we could go through and pick up the ones we wanted. My first question was, does it lead to our vision statement of transforming from a surviving to a thriving collective community? Councilor Lawrence?
What I had to, was, does this, the question is, does this meet our mission? Overall mission. And of course, the other one, you know, because our mission is basically improvement, excellence. So it has to address those. And the other comment I had, which Councillor Reddy-Schonfeld mentioned, is how does it meet our budget obligations? Of course, those were 2 that sort of jumped out at me.
And actually, I did, as Dr. Reddy-Schonfeld has indicated, when it refers to values, I've said in request of 3 is supported by a minimum of 3 of our shared values. And I think it's important if it's just 1 out of 5, then it might not meet that threshold, but if it touches on 3 or more, it certainly does. Anyway, if council could submit them all to staff, and then staff can compile the list. We can certainly go through and pick out the best questions. That's okay with the rest of council.
Just comment, and Councilor Buckwell, the first question. Really short and sweet, is going to be really easy for you to get with, and so that's the division, like, I think, if you have your questions, very short questions, because this is the dashboard that you're looking at when you're making decisions. If you do a long question, you might not read it every time. So if I can make a suggestion to council, you have 5 councillors and we have 5 questions, that you each take one of your questions and before you have had a question, make those questions, you just work on one question, make it short and sweet. So that when you come back to us, we get the 5 questions that are condensed in a concise form that each one of you wants. Yeah.
As long as we all don't pick the question on finance. Councilor Buckwell?
I like what Andrew's saying about each time I don't want to take ownership of. I think that might be a good thing to do once we've narrowed it down from everybody submitting several, and what they think, everybody submitting their own 5 they think are important. Then we come back, we score them, we pick the 5 that we want, and then have each member of council sum that one up for the ownership. I think that would be really important, that all the different ideas get out there. And then as a group, we pick the 5 that we think important to us. And everybody gets one and here, make it work so that it fits on that nice little piece of paper. So whether we're talking about buying a new piece of equipment, or we're talking about holding an asset or severance, we can look at the slide question and say, does it fit? Yeah, let's do it. Or no, it needs a little more discussion. I think the combination of the two processes, I think that's the best result.
Councilor Rakeshon.
I would say submit the number of questions that we feel that we think are important. So if I only can submit 3, and then maybe Maria, or somebody else comes up with another good one. And then moving forward to me after we have the questions before they're totally established, to do like nearly like a role play, give us a couple scenarios, you know, and then could give us a couple scenarios of different things. And then we could look and we could use our dashboard to say, because sometimes when you're using it practically, then you're going to be like, well, maybe we should have changed the wording of this question. It's like we can make it, we give it 2 thumbs up.
So what I'm hearing is that we'll submit our questions to staff, and then next meeting we'll look at clicking and maybe shortening. And then maybe the following meeting we'll do a role play.
Right, but maybe just a couple different things. They can try and trick us.
Can we do the role play in camera?
I like that. And what was submitting them to?
Send it to the clerk.
Okay.
I think the resolution covers it, that council accepts the dashboard report. And with the addition of 5 questions, and further that all council sign the pledge. I guess we'll sign the pledge after we commit and agree on our questions. Okay. Council Burns. Yes. Councilor Buckwell.
Yes.
Councilor Robinson.
Yes.
Councilor Rakeshon.
Yes, but could I just make one suggestion where it says for the community? Could we say for the non-community? Because I think that is like really important because it's about us and we're owning it. Just on our pledge thing, just at the very end of the pledge, where it says choice for the community, is this the best choice for the community? To me, just to make it stronger, we'll just say for the non-community. So it's for us.
What if we said for our municipal community? Okay, did you say yes, Councilor?
Yeah, sorry.
I mean, yes, Councilor.
Did we go first and second?
I'm sorry.
Did we move it and second it?
Yes, we did, yes.
Oh, okay. I was asleep then.
Well, that's carried. Thank you. Item 7.7 is the cottage checks. I have a resolution that council accepts the COVID cottage check report as presented and instructs the CAO to proceed with the cottage checks in 2021. And I get a mover and a seconder. Moved by Councilor Buckwell, seconded by Councilor Robinson. Comments, questions? Councilor Rakeshon.
Because we don't have the same restrictions we did last year, do you think people are now actually going to use it? We didn't have a lot of people using it. I saw the value in using it last year, but now I think people are more or less free to, in Ontario, move within Ontario. So as before, where it was recommended just to stay where you're supposed to do. So I guess if the law enforcement agent is patrolling, I guess it's not anything onerous, but I'm just wondering if it's going to be something that's going to be used by the residents simply because of the restrictions.
I guess I would say I don't think it hurts to put the offer out there. I think the last time we had, I don't think it was more than 3 people who signed up for it. And because we have to do the enforcement patrols anyways, it doesn't really add anything, I don't think, as far as the time commitment. And if it did, if we got flooded, then we'd have to take a look at it. Councilor.
Or they have to call them first before they go check the money.
They would have to call if they want somebody to actually stop and check there, do a physical check on it. If the doors are locked and the windows are.
Basically, yes, we're just gonna use the same procedure we used last year, with the boiling up question.
Any other comments? Seeing none, Council Burns,
Yes.
Council Buckle,
Yes.
Council Robinson,
Yes.
Council Reddy,
Yes,
and yes, that's carried, thank you. Item 7.8 is the building permit report, a resolution of council accept the 2021 building permit and summary report as presented. Can we bring up the report, please? Can I get a mover to seconder? Moved by Councilor Reddy, seconded by Councilor. So I just wanted to say, I would hope we can certainly surpass last year's total of building permits. I mean, looking at some of the other municipalities, they have had in the last year, building permits for residences that put them over 10 million. And some of them are collecting up to, between 50 to 75,000 just in the permit fees. So I'm really hoping that we can jump in and gain some of that traction from people looking to build in our municipality as well. That's a bird.
I would talk to, one of my friends, tonight, he's a home inspector for Whitewater.
Can I get you to speak right to your mic, please?
He was talking to, I was talking to Doug Schultz, the home inspector for Whitewater today. He has issued 20 house permits for Whitewater this year already. But that's because BEI has a subdivision going on in there.
Right.
And the second point I want to make, is there any way with the things I went through with, Bill O'Brien at the county that we get the red tape, sorted up? Is there anything council can do with that? Like the planning and zoning and all that?
That's something that's still a work in progress. That will be coming back again to our next county council meeting because last meeting we referred the draft plan, the OPA 31, is it? Yeah. We referred it back to committee to make some more changes and adjustments. So I'm hopeful that we might see some more favorable changes. Councilor Becky Chonko.
just, I'm trying to, for clarity, so there's two possible houses and each of them would be valued at 200,000. Is that the way it works? Student builds and then it says estimate cost of new builds, 400,000. So does that mean each house is estimated at 200,000? Is that the way it is? Yeah, okay, because that's it was just kind of confusing, because then I was thinking. But yeah, okay, that's what it meant, so I'm okay with that. Or, I mean, just help to clarify what's going on.
Any other questions, comments? Seeing none, I'll call the vote. Councilor Burns,
Yes.
Councilor Buckwell,
Yes.
Councilor Robinson,
Yes.
Councilor Reddy Schonfeld.
Yes,
And yes, that's carried. Thank you. It's item 7.9 is the year-to-date finance report. I have a resolution that council accepts the 2021 year-to-date financial report as information. Can I get a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councilor Buckwald, seconded by Councilor Burns. Comments, questions? Councilor Burns.
You get the report,
Yes. That's one. I think we're looking for the budget to actual report.
What are we gonna do?
Did you have a specific line item, Council Burke?
I have got the students that have been on.
Oh,
Just go through it slowly. Okay. Thank you very much.
And councilors have any comment on the report? Councilor Rector Schoenfeld?
Just what is, it's just about boat launches, what's J dash maintenance? I think it's wherever the boat launch page is. But not right, it's not where it is. The top says total sanding and salting.
So you get that, so that's the road.
So, okay, but what is J maintenance? What is J maintenance?
So it means. Maintenance, high maintenance.
Okay, thanks.
Maybe I could suggest, Councilor Burke, if you have any questions, you could contact the office and send them a copy of your question. And I'll then call the vote. Councilor Burke?
Yeah.
Councilor Buckles?
Yes.
Councilor Robinson?
Yes.
Councilor Rector Schoenfeld?
Yes,
And a yes, that's carried. Thank you. So item 9.1 is the non-action. I have a resolution of council that's correspondence item 9.1, 9.1.13 as information. Can I get a mover and seconder? Moved by Councilor Buckwell, seconded by Councilor Robinson. Councilor Burns,
Yes.
Councilor Buckwell,
Yes.
Councilor Robinson,
Yes.
Councilor Reggie Tonto,
yes,
and yes, carried. Thank you. Item 9.2.1. Give me a second. Is our first action item, and it's from the Niagara region. Whereas the Township of North Algona Wilberforce received correspondence from the Niagara region for a motion respecting homelessness, mental health, and addiction in Niagara. Be it further resolved that the Township of North Algona Wilberforce supports their correspondence. And I get a mover to seconder, moved by Councilor Burns, seconded by Councilor Buckles. Comments? Questions? Seeing none, Councilor Burns,
Yes.
Councilor Buckles,
Yes.
Councilor Robinson,
Yes.
Councilor Rector Schoenfeld,
yes,
and yes, that's carried. Item 9.2.2 is the year-on resolution, whereas the Township of North Algona Wilberforce received correspondence from the Warden of Renfrew County in regards to a support letter for the year-on gig project. Be it further resolved that the Township of North Algona Wilberforce supports the correspondence and that the mayor be authorized to sign the letter of support. And I get a mover and a seconder, moved by Councilor Robinson, seconded by Councilor Buckles. Comments, questions? Seeing none, Councilor Burns,
Yes.
Councilor Buckles,
Yes.
Councilor Robinson,
Yes.
Councilor Reggie Schoenfeld.
yes,
And yes, that's carried. Yep. Item 9.2.3 is the North Fork County. Whereas the Township of North Algona Wilberforce received correspondence from Norfolk County supporting the Norfolk County Agriculture Advisory Board's letter regarding the application of the carbon tax on primary agriculture producers. Be it further resolved that the Township of North Algona Wilberforce supports their recommendations that the federal government consider the concerns of the agricultural community and move to exempt all primary agriculture producers from current and future carbon taxes. And I got a mover in a second. Moved by Councillor Burns, seconded by Councillor Buckles. Comments, questions? I believe it was in the Ottawa Valley Business News. There was a write-up about this. It is kind of scary that it will certainly add cost for the farm and agriculture producers. If they have to start paying these high taxes. I believe the diesel fuel is exempt, but they're trying to get the natural gas and propane exempt from the carbon taxes as well, because they're going to use it for frying their corn or their beans. So it could have significant costs.
I did read that back in one of the farm papers I got in January. Propane and balloons. They use a lot of it.
I'll call the vote. Councillor Burns?
Yeah.
Councillor Buckles?
Yes.
Councillor Robinson?
Yes.
Councillor Rector?
Yes,
And a yes, that's carried. Thank you.
And if you have your diesel fuel delivered to your farm, you have your farm business number, you think you don't have to pay the carbon tax.
Right, yes.
So if you buy it at the pumps, you have to pay the carbon tax.
Well, they get you one way or the other. Item 11.1 is also on the year on, and it's whereas residents and businesses across our municipality need access to modern and adequate access to high-speed broadband services. And whereas the demand for high-speed broadband services will continue to grow year after year. And whereas our residents and businesses should not continue to be disadvantaged by the lack of access to high-speed services. And whereas the Eastern Ontario Regional Network has submitted a comprehensive regional project to deliver a gig of speed that will serve our residents and businesses long into the future. And whereas Huron's approach has proven itself very successful and represents an efficient and effective way to solve our broadband needs. Now, therefore, the Council of North Algona Wilberforce requests both federal and provincial governments to immediately fund the Huron Gig project. And finally, that a letter of support with a copy of this resolution be sent to Minister Onset and Minister Scott with copies to our Member of Parliament and our Member of Provincial Parliament. Can we get a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councillor Burns, seconded by Councillor Robinson. Comments or questions? This is something that the county is pushing really, really hard. And one of the, I know a lot of our local internet providers are also applying for grants to improve service. The only disadvantage may be that they will not pick up everybody. They'll pick up the high traffic corridors. The Huron project is to make sure everybody gets access to the same speed and service. So that's what the county is really pushing for. And just for everybody's information, Jennifer Murphy did run for a position on the Huron board and was successful in being. That is good news because most of the other representatives are south of Highway 7. That's one of the problems with, they don't always recognize that there's also communities north of Highway 7. It's nice to have that voice there. I'll call the vote. Councillor Burns?
Yes.
Councillor Buckles?
Yes.
Councillor Robinson?
Yes.
Councillor Rector?
yeah,
Yes, that's carried. Thank you. So that brings us to Item 12, are there any notices of motion? Reports from committees. Upcoming meetings and unfinished business. Just a reminder that our next regular meeting will be April 6th. And then we have the Ontario Northland Bus Service and MVP John Yakubowski correspondence. Is that something we want to take a look at?
It's just that, the minister on our letter and to the premier and send his own letter.
Okay.
So we just have a copy.
Hopefully, we'll get some action from that. Oh, and just under upcoming meetings, if I could, I just wanted to ask staff if they could bring back a report on the outstanding shoreline purchases along Pointers Drive. I know I had some calls from people wondering when they might see their approvals, so that would be helpful to get a report on that. And that brings us item. Yeah.
Was there another date you had at the last meeting there for? We were trying to pick a date or something?
Those were the dates for the training for the planning. And I believe staff did send out a new schedule of dates because the original dates were already booked up. I know I reserved mine. Thank you. You're welcome. So I have a resolution that council go into closed session regarding two personal matters about identifiable individual, including municipal employees. And council go into this closed session at 8:02 p.m. And I get a mover and a seconder, moved by Councilor Burns, seconded by Councilor Ricketson. Councilor Burns? Yes. Councilor Buckwell?
Yes.
Councilor Robinson?
Yes.
Councilor Ricketson?
Yes.
Yes, thank you. We are now closed.